Okay, let's get into it. Stock market technical analysis. We'll use the charts. Drop me a thumbs up. Check out the private member group if you're interested in getting additional charts, additional trade ideas, setups, all that. Market commentary. Link in the description below on that one. And let's get right into it. Clear rejection today on the triple Qs. In the private member group, just yesterday, I basically said that we dropped back below that former breakout. Let me drop down to the hourly chart. And you can see, here's your former high right here back on December 16th. And then we made a new high right there, but we failed that high, boom, right there. And so I posted that to the private member group saying, hey, it's an objective short. I know we just recently stopped out of our short because at the time we had broken out, okay? The breakout was a divergent high, but it didn't. But I figured it. I actually thought it could maybe go up a little bit more, maybe 2 or 3%, is what I was thinking. But not even that. We just made a slightly new divergent high, and they sold right into it. Divergent highs have a high probability of getting sold into, and so that's why when the market makes new highs, I get a lot of the bulls that say, "Oh, just follow the trend. Follow the trend." I am following the trend. That's what you don't understand is I'm following the trend. I'm just not following the price trend. I'm following the trend in momentum, which is basically saying momentum is dropping off. Price is likely to follow. Okay, I'm trying to anticipate price, not just chase it. So the momentum helps me with that. There's no guarantees, of course, and we obviously have to mitigate risk by kind of stopping out of shorts and things like that. But when you get the sell signal, especially with the divergence, it tells you that you have a high probability that the trade's going to work out. Yesterday, that sell signal came in triple Qs back down to the hourly by the failure, and you can see. So there's this is the former high, fails, back tested, full on rejection today. Just nothing but getting rejected. So down we go. Since we've broken out of the range, kind of the top of this range, and we've now failed, I do believe we're heading down to the bottom of the range, which really, I think, is all the way down here, 502. All right, that would be the area where you're likely going to see the bulls try to stage a rally. So I think we've got a ways to go. That's about 5% downside in the triple Qs. You'll probably have, you'll probably have at least some sort of a bounce mid-range, drop down, probably get a little bounce there, and then down to the bottom of the range. All right, that's really what I see on that. So, yeah, and that looks good. I mean, if we go to the Mag 7, let's look at NVIDIA, because this one's not going to go too far because you have earnings coming up. Earnings is coming up next week, I believe. Yeah, next Wednesday. So it's not going to go too far, but I could see us sitting at maybe, like down here, 132.20, or maybe the 200-day moving average, 127.70, somewhere right around there. It could sell off into earnings, and then we'll see. We'll have to see what the chart looks like. This one also did break a most on the hourly chart, kind of this uptrend line. See the negative divergence? That tells me price is likely going to start dropping. And we broke the trend and price is starting to drop. It's not really dropping. I mean, we're just kind of still floating sideways, but with like a slight drift to the downside. Tesla getting smoked today. Just rejecting right at resistance. Look, Tesla's in a downtrend. It's obvious. You're making lower highs and lower lows. This was your former support, which turned into resistance, and they tested it for about a week and rejected today. So down she goes. Should take out the lows and head down to about 292-ish. Google, breaking trend today. Google, you can see you have this support, held it there for about a week, and breaking trend, rejection. That's a sell signal on Google. Okay, the market's free to do what it wants to do in the big tech these big tech stocks because their earnings are all out of the way. So the only one that's there is NVIDIA. So we might sell off pretty hard into the NVIDIA earnings, and then maybe they spike it up on NVIDIA for like a back test or something like that. Yeah. Apple, strong. Apple's, this is the one that they are buying. They are buying Apple, and Again, the game of whack-a-mole continues. We're basically seeing money flow out of some of the tech stocks, and then it flows into the other, and they continue to try to play that game to hold the indices up. Market makers, hedge funds, people that have a vested interest in tech stocks going up, large institutions. So they're buying that one today. We'll see where that ends. Maybe it fails. Could come in for a full back test of this trend line right here. Maybe they want to rally it up. If they get close, they're probably going to pop and put in a new divergent high, and then that would be an objective area to short Apple, all right, in case you get that. Microsoft, no change there. This one still kind of at the bottom of the range, no change, so nothing to really talk about there. Meta selling off. Again, I talked about this being a stop raid. You have a big bearish rising wedge. You floated to the upside, looked like stop raid price action, and I put good probability you were going to sell off, and we are. And so now it's probably going to come down. It's kind of likely they'll try to hold it and bounce it there and make this is a breakout and a back test. If it gets down here, that's a back test. So there's no guarantees that this breakout is not the real deal. What you'd want to see is this is a breakout and this is a back test. If you're short, I think it makes sense to cover at that level of support. And if you believe that this is a big stop rate price action, wait for the breakdown. Wait for the break of that level. That would be your sell signal that you're likely going to break. Or, even better, wait for the break of this lower trend line. Lots of reactions on that lower trend line. So a break of that and lights out. All right, Apple or Meta should head down to the major target of 454-ish. So, yeah, that's how you trade that one. Amazon, breaking down. Still, it's heading down to the bottom of the range. This is the support channel, so it still has support. So that would be support. You'd want to cover at support. This is where I thought it was going, because when we were up here, I said, okay, it looks with the negative divergence. I put good odds we're going to head to the bottom of this channel, and there you go. We're heading to the bottom of the channel. KRE, again, it looks good as a short. We started getting into this short. I mean, you had the sell signal here, and it was back testing. And this is where I said, okay, we're back testing. It's an objective short to short at the back test. Drifted sideways, but we're starting to see some selling come in, big red candles. You got to take out this low here, 61.62. You take that out, should be a pretty swift drop down to the 200-day moving average. So that's still the target on that one. And big negative divergence. I think it can go lower than that, but usually when you get a tag of the 200, they buy it. It might just dip right down to this big support, 54, and then recover the 200. Completely possible. But yeah, that one's looking good. I don't see any indication there that that's not going to work. And then like FITB is another one. Again, banking stock. Same look as the KRE, but pretty much. Remember this big bearish rising wedge? We've got a major target, and it sets us up for a move down to about here, 35. So we've got a ways to drop still, and again, I think this is where that's headed over time. It's going to take a little while, but I think it's where we're headed. XHB, again, this has been one I've talked about as a good short. It's continuing lower, clear downtrend, support right here. Support right there at about 97.50. Good support there. So we will, that one likely will bounce there. Okay, talk about a couple longs. Wheat still looks good. We're at the 200-day, so you can see here they ripped it up, broke out above the 200, and they're back testing that. So until that fails, that's support. Now it has failed in the past. You can see like right here, like boom, they ripped it up above the 200, and then it came in for a back test, and it did fail. And when you got the daily close below the 200, it gapped down the following day and just imploded pretty much. So that can happen again. Definitely I don't assume that can't happen, but as of right now, it is a breakout and a back test. So the difference that I see is we have some bullish divergence that's been building, and we're just starting to rip. So I think there's some more to go here. I do really think that this is going to actually continue higher, and that's something to look for. Also, you see here when we broke out before, if I zoom in, kind of zoom in. It's a little hard to show, but right here, see that? Boom. That's negative divergence. So you had these highs. Those were divergent highs, indicating that the probability of a sell-off was elevated, and you got the sell-off. We don't have that today. We don't have negative divergence really. You can see we've got the momentum has been strong, and we're making higher highs in momentum and higher highs in price. This just looks like a reset, and we're likely going to continue higher. So I still like it. No indication that that's changed. MOS backtesting again. It's been backtesting for weeks now. Big bullish falling wedge, big bullish divergence, breakout, backtest, backtest, backtest. So that's it. It's just backtesting support. It can continue to do that. You know, there's nothing that says it can't just continue to backtesting, kind of grind lower. But it is a objective long on backtest of support, which is what it is today as well. So that is something to look out for. And then NTR is another one. This one looks like it's bull flagging. Even though it's down today, you've got this flag pull. Here, you flagged out, and then on earnings, gapped up. And this, to me, looks like a bull flag continuation. Pop up, they sell it down, but that doesn't mean, you know, on Monday it can't gap up more and just continue to run. So it looks like it's bull flagging, and it's bullish. Very just like MOS. Both look like constructive longs. Now, I mean, it did put in a divergent high on the gap up. It is, you know, that is a divergent high. So keep that in mind. But, you know, so it could fail. I mean, with the divergence, sure, it could fail. If it gets back into this flag, you're probably going to come all the way down to the bottom of the flag and do some sort of a back test. Sell signal in GE. This looks like a sell signal to me. GE, you've got a big bearish rising wedge, negative divergence that's been intact for a long time. Divergent high there, and an impulsive sell signal today, an impulsive breakdown. It kind of was floating for the last few days. Look at this float right there. Volume dropping off. That's divergent. That's volume divergence, where you've got volume dropping off, price moving higher. Just shows momentum is completely drying up. So you had volume divergence, you had PPO and RSI divergence, and now today you're seeing some sell volume kind of pick up. The volume's not actually that high quite yet, but price action selling. So we'll see. Looks like a sell signal to me on that one. Netflix also looks pretty interesting as a short, kind of a new setup. Negative divergence on both momentum indicators. It looks like Amazon to me. You're at the top of the channel here and diverging, and today, given the rest of the market, looks like you're rejecting. We'll see. But I'd put good probability, given the divergences, that we're going to head to the bottom of this channel. And if you look on the daily chart, it's, you know, it's a big long channel. My charts don't want to update, but there it is. And so, yeah, I'd put good probability. We kind of head to the bottom of the channel. There's a big gap to fill. So somewhere right in there, 874.73 would be a potential short, all right, down to that area, which is about a 14% drop or so. So I like that as a trade idea. And, you know, you probably get a minor reaction at gap entry here. So maybe something like this. Probably, you know, a little bounce and then a rollover. SMCI, I pointed this out in the private member group, but you can see we've got a downtrend. All right, and we just hit it recently, tagged it again. That's resistance. It's actually, I actually had it as like triple resistance, because here's the thing. You've got the downtrend line. You have horizontal, a horizontal level to look at that's had several reactions. And you also have the uptrend line here that had several reactions validating support. And so this move right a couple days ago ran into triple resistance. Yeah, you're above the 200-day, but big deal. Big triple resistance right there. Very likely it's going to fail. This move above the 200 looks like just a bull trap, and you're going to, you know, I think this is going to continue lower. It's in a bear market. It's trending lower, so I think we're due for another leg lower. And so, yeah, that one looks really good as well. Okay, that's all I've got for today. I'll get the video out there, and everyone have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys on Monday. Take care.